All right. Welcome to James Detroit. The original concept of even having this was presented to me by a good friend and business partner, Mr. Andrew Lay, saying, hey, you ought to do this while you're just driving down the road. Hit record and get your thoughts out there. Haven't done this in a while in this format, usually been at the desk. But we're going to give it a roll. It's the first time that you've got a chance to check this out. Hopefully you like it. Hit subscribe, share it with somebody else. So let's get to some thoughts that have been overwhelming to me. And we want to talk about the historical perspective of where we are today. There's a couple of sayings that seem to be very, very prevalent. They just speak truth to me over and over and over again. So slowly at first, and then all of a sudden. How much control can the government have over us? In the United States of America, we see it in other countries, but in the United States of America, how is it that we've allowed, again, slowly at first, and all of a sudden, the ability, and it's mostly been from bureaucrats, non-elected officials that are making policies to the extent that they're stealing our liberties and our freedoms, and we're letting it happen. Now, from a historical perspective, when we talk about all this crap that's going on with the suggestion that there's institutional racism, that there's systemic racism, there's one race, the human race. But if we look at the two parties that we have in this country that is really representative of most of the citizenry, which of the two parties actually has been participating the most? I'm going to agree with the people that say there is systemic racism, that there's institutional racism. Yeah, and it's been perfected by the Democratic Party. Remember, the Democratic Party was the party of the slave states. The Democratic Party, even after the Abolitionist Party, which is the Republican Party, the Grand Old Party, was formed in 1856 to abolish slavery. And it did it. And then, after that, you had the Southern Democrats specifically, but there were many Northern Democrats, through the Jim Crow laws that continued the slavery in a different form. Then you had a KKK president in Woodrow Wilson. You look it up. You call me a liar. You look it up. You research this yourself. And with Margaret Sanger forming Planned Parenthood, and you have FDR and Truman, both. And if you want to judge Washington and Jefferson on racial issues, then judge FDR and Judge Truman. They said things that were so racist. Then you had LBJ, one of FDR's right-hand men, so to speak. And then you had the Clintons, and then you had the Obama administration. Mr. Joe Biden wants to run on his record. Well, look at that racist record. The 94 crime bill that he is so proud of authoring and being a part of it. These same group of people that I just mentioned had so much praise for Senator Byrd, not just a KKK member, but a recruiter, the top echelon of the organization. So when I look at what Candace Owens and Bob Woodson and Dr. Swain, Dr. Riley, and the list goes on. But if you look at it from a historical perspective on what Frederick Douglass, and I know that the Democratic Party wants to suggest that Martin Luther King Jr., and there were many people that ended up being leaders in the Democratic Party that stated, well, MLK was, he was for sure a Democrat. No, I don't think so. one of the great lines, to be judged by the content of your character, not the color of your skin, is still so important today. Now let's switch real quick. Let's slightly pivot to the tearing down of the statues. And you're going to tear down Abraham Lincoln's statue? I'm telling you that the monuments out there, out west, Mount Rushmore, those are going to be defaced. Those are going to, almost every aspect of our society as we know it, the historical perspective that we can place based on truth is there's a desire to destroy it all. If you listen to, it was wonderful to hear the truth, and that was a very poignant and truthful interview with a woman in the zone in Seattle, and she said, I'm not here to peacefully protest. We are going to tear everything completely down, destroy it all, so we can build what we want and how we want it to be built. So we've just had in the last 5,000-6,000 years of civilization, the evolution of civilization, and there's been ebb and flow of progress and recession, and progress and recession through that civilization's evolution. The United States of America, the Constitution of the people, by the people, for the people, and the ability for us to govern ourselves with limited government. What the Founding Fathers created is the greatest opportunity for all ethnicities, all cultures, all classes to be able to be equal under the law. And they're wishing to destroy that. Let's spend some time. The Republican Party's not perfect. Why? Because it's made up of human beings. Human beings are not perfect. And let's make the Republican Party better. And every day, there are more from the black community joining the Republican Party, realizing, hey, wow, these city centers, the vast majority of our communities have been run by the Democratic Party. Democratic, whether it's governors, mayors, council. I'm going to have more to talk about that at a later point. I just wanted to share these thoughts as I'm driving along. I look forward to the next time I speak with you. I hope you find value in some of the things that I say. I'm not expecting you to agree with everything I'm saying, but let's just not erase our history. The vast majority of our history is quality. United States of America is still the greatest country. We need to reverse this course, though, so that the Democratic Party does not gain all control over every aspect of our life. Because right now, this can be censored. They're trying to censor more and more and more because they only want one narrative, one version. And it's not the truth. It's to control. I'm James Detroit, and I'm out.